Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching from. My name is Prince Arthur Azoka. I have a topic to present this morning titled Tips for Chemical Safety. We all know that not all chemicals need special handling or storage. Not all chemicals are harmful, but toxic, corrosive, flammable, and explosive chemical, for example, need special care and proper safety precautions. Extreme hazardous chemical might require handlers to wear personal protective equipment such as rubber hand gloves, apron, and storing hazardous chemical can require types of types of containers as well as environment control. This type of chemical is typically only handled in the workplace. Tips for chemical safety in a workplace are as follows. When you work in an office, laboratory, or manufacturing facility, there are precautions you should take according to the chemical you might be handling. Of course, the level of potential chemical harm in an office is relatively low compared to a manufacturing facility, but there are things you should still be aware of. One of the tips in chemical safety in a workplace is make sure you have a proper ventilation. Whether you are working in a factory or laboratory or at the factory floor, proper ventilation is crucial. Carbon monoxide levels are sometimes to be particularly aware of, especially if you are working in an enclosed space. A chemical laboratory and manufacturing facility, on the other hand, must be well designed ventilation system that can pump out any obnoxious gas. One of the second tips of chemical safety in a workplace is establish and implement SOPs. What did I mean by establish and implement SOPs? SOPs means standard operating procedure for safety in a factory or laboratory should cover the different stages of chemical handling. These SOPs must include the delivery of raw materials, storage, processing, packaging, transporting, and disposal. Each stage of the manufacturing process requires specific SOPs. Number third piece in chemical handling is keep to date with staff training. Ensure that your staff are properly trained, especially if you are handling hazardous chemical. Handling hazardous chemical requires specific knowledge about the individual chemical, and even if you are not handling it directly, you should learn the safety protocol and what to do in case of an accident. The fourth tips in chemical safety is install necessary detectors and alarm and test them regularly. Some chemicals such as carbon monoxide are highly toxic at certain level but are odorless and colorless. Some chemicals that are carbon monoxide are highly toxic. They are chemicals you can't perceive them, and they are odorless. They are colorless. Apart from standard smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors and other type of gas sensors should be installed as necessary for your premises. Whenever you have a storage facility for chemical, the standard SOPs is that you must ensure that every chemical vicinity is installed with gas detector, carbon monoxide detector, in case if there is any emergency it can trigger the detector. Number 5 tips of chemical safety handling is consider installing AI monitoring system for factories and laboratory. Data from equipment, pipes, storage, and the environment can be continually collected and processed, not only to optimize your operations, but also for safety reasons. Artificial intelligence monitoring system can do this extremely efficiently, often without human supervision. Number safety for for chemical safety is organize your storeroom. If you are storing chemicals, make sure they are stored correctly and your storerooms or storage facility is checked regularly. Different types of chemical require specific containers or to be at a certain temperature or pressure. Chemicals in storage must also be properly labeled and accessible, but well protected. When it comes to the office, avoid storing volatile or flammable materials like paint thinners in a room that are hot and not well ventilated. Chemical like paint thinners are not meant to store in a room that are not well ventilated, a room that are hot, to avoid fire or explosion. Number 7 tips of chemical safety handling is conduct regular inspection and maintenance. Even in an ordinary office building, you should be aware of potential chemical hazard. Check your air conditioning, heating, and plumbing system regularly and have them professionally serviced biannually or at least annually. Number 8 tips of chemical safety handling is discard broken equipment. From laboratory apparatus to large-scale manufacturing equipment, it is important that there are no damage to the equipment you are using, so you minimize the risk of chemical leaks or chemical spill. For example, never use cracked glass laboratory equipment, even if it's merely a hairline crack. Number 9 tips of chemical safety handling is use personal protective equipment where necessary. The PPE you need used to vary depending on the level of threat or hazard. Hazard is anything that has the potential to cause harm to human. The PPE you require depending on the level of usage or handling of the chemical. In some cases, like in laboratory setting, goggles, lab gowns or aprons, and rubber gloves may suffice. However, chemical suit might be needed for handling highly toxic and corrosive chemical in a factory. The last tips on chemical safety handling is implement a spill response protocol. Factories that handle chemicals must have a protocol for spillage. Containment procedure and people with knowledge of first aid must be available. And you may need to have an emergency equipment such as fire extinguishers, drained showers, first aid kits located near to where the chemical is stored, so you can easily access them. These are the tips for safety handling, storage of chemicals in the workplace. Thanks. That's the end of the topic. Follow my page, Prince Arthur Azoka. Follow my second page, Knowledge Connect TV and Knowledge Connect Alliance. Like and share the video. Thank you. See you later in the day.